Hi everyone, this is Melissa Wright from Local First Arizona. We're super excited to have you here. While people are still being added into the webinar, I'm gonna just go over a couple housekeeping rules, kind of how we run things in here. Just to let you know, whenever you join the webinar, you will automatically be put on mute and your video should be off as well. So please just try to keep that. I know it's easy to sometimes unclick the mute button, but make sure you keep that on mute. If you do have any technical difficulties or questions throughout, you can go ahead and drop that into the chat room. I will be monitoring that throughout. We will have a Q&A session, but we will be leaving that till the end. And again, we will be utilizing the chat function. So feel free to drop them into the chat room during the presentation. As you have something that pops up into your head, but those will not be answered until the end of the presentation. I will go ahead and ask those on your behalf. So now I'm going to go ahead and introduce Alexi. So Alexi Venneri is the co-founder and CEO of Digital Airstrike, the award-winning social media intelligent lead response and consumer engagement technology company. A pioneer in the automotive industry for digital response, social marketing, and online reputation management, Digital Airstrike software and managed service platform monitor improve and manage consumer engagement for 5,000 businesses, including 7 of the largest automotive manufacturers in the United States, Canada, and 11 additional countries. So we're super excited to have you here, Alexi. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to you. I know you have some great stuff to share.
Great. Well, thank you for having us here. And we are local to Arizona. We were actually founded here in Scottsdale. We've got our offices right near Fashion Square, right in kind of some recent action, actually. But we're super proud to be based here in Arizona. We do work with businesses of all kinds nationwide. So it's great that we can share some of the best practices and things that we're seeing. I don't think that, any near time soon, we feel like kind of the new normal around COVID, it's here to stay. So we are working with businesses to share tips and strategies to help you still be able to prosper, still do business safely, and let consumers know that you are available. And I think, there's definitely been heightened awareness for consumers to want to shop local and support local businesses. So in a weird way, this could be a really good opportunity for our fellow local business owners. And we'd like to share some tips that we have. So the first tip, I started this company in the middle of the worst part of the recession that we ever had, just over 10 years ago. And it was interesting, even back then, even though social media was still in its infancy, there wasn't even advertising, there wasn't even business pages, but it was a great way to connect with consumers. They were definitely online. They were definitely leveraging it more even back then. And, in 10 years, we've learned a lot. So recent stats coming out right now from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, consumers are at home even more. They're venturing out less. Maybe they're working from home and they're on social media. They're using it as a news source. They are even more receptive than ever before to hear from local businesses. And they really want to know what you're doing to help flatten the curve, to how you are practicing, social distancing, how you're maybe, sanitizing, even if your staff have things like face coverings, and how you're using that in your business, how you're open, even if it's maybe different service hours, maybe it's, you had to social distance depending on your business. Even if you weren't traditionally a retailer that had a brick and mortar store, and maybe you were always online, or you always supported online services such as ordering online, shipping, talk about it. They're really, really receptive to hearing about that, and especially hearing your local message. So that is our first tip. If you're not aware of all the social media sites, all the ways you can do that, definitely do some research. You're taking a step right now being on this webinar. There are partners, certainly like our company, but others that could help you with that too. So the next tip we have, tip number 2, is respond to check-ins, to comments. We see this across the board, even with national brands and companies. They maybe run an ad or do a post and don't have a process or a person designated to respond to the comments. You really, really want to make sure that you're set up. The cost of ignoring online reviews or comments on social questions can be really expensive for a business. There's a couple examples here. in this day and age, there's always gonna be a lot of opinions. There's a lot of things you can do. You can respond to them appropriately and professionally, and I think timely is very important. If somebody's really kind of being a troll and not being productive, you can hide their comments. You can block that user, that consumer from your page, your post, your ad. Just knowing that, I think, should give business owners a sense of relief, but you have to assign it to somebody. It has to be their job. You can even report people and work with the sites if there's anything negative, but certainly when it's positive, you want to support it, you want to promote it, you want to thank your customers for maybe still doing business with you. Anything that you've got, such as new service hours or new services, like maybe if you're a restaurant, you're now doing more takeout orders or pickup or delivery. So definitely want to be active and engaging with your community. They're more engaged than ever, we're finding, with businesses online. Now, the next tip we have, there are always new things that social networks are doing, such as, you may or may not know that Facebook now has a whole world called Marketplace. It's kind of similar to Craigslist, although what's great about it is it doesn't cost to post your services or to really share your inventory online. So that's a big deal. There may be new and different products you're offering now, given that COVID's here. Are you talking about that? Are you responding to questions? Have you kind of set up your business and your page, so to speak, on Marketplace? And are you able to know how to check any leads that may come in from that? So that's a big deal. Certainly we help our clients with that, but there's lots of ways you can do research and see how you could do that yourself. There's other very local sites such as Nextdoor, and we're finding that they're offering a lot of new ways that you can connect. Even if you just have happy customers that post and talk about your services online, that's very organic. That can definitely go viral. There are ways to advertise on Nextdoor. There's ways to set up your business profile. So we encourage you to take advantage of all of the new ways you could be sharing information and know all of the sites that are available to you. All right, now I know this is common and everyone knows about Google, but are you really familiar with all of the tools on Google My Business? This is a perfect way now to talk about things like maybe your hours of operation are different. Or you might think it's obvious if you're open for business again, but you got to tell them that you are. Make sure your information is accurate in your listing. There's an awesome new feature now on Google My Business, doesn't cost anything, and it's a question and answer section, a Q&A. You can even ask yourself questions. You can have somebody go on and you can answer them. Maybe common questions or things that you'd like consumers to know about anything new that you're doing. Maybe you've come up with a whole new service amid COVID. We've seen that businesses and even cleaning companies are now offering full sanitizing services. Maybe there's a way that you're offering something around when you're selling products that they now come with kind of a sanitary seal of approval. Whatever it might be, now's the time to talk about that on Google. There's also some great things. There's Google Tiles. There's ways to share video. So you've got to make sure that you've got information, but also a call to action. Have you made it easy for them to text your business, contact you with questions? Is your link to your main website even working? So many ways to maximize Google without even paying for AdWords and paying for PPC. A great example is video. Do you have a video that talks about maybe how you're social distancing, how you've even just, sanitized all the services in your business? This is all very, very timely. Again, showing that your staff is maybe wearing face coverings if appropriate, anything that will help consumers know that you're open for business and the amount of goodwill you will get. Even a message from a business owner. I'm a local business owner. I started this business. I'm super proud that we employ about 150 people here locally that have been able to pay their mortgage, pay their rent, keep the lights on. And it's because of our clients that allow us to do that. So same thing, please talk about that. They want to hear from you. They want to know your local story. All of that is something you can share on Google. Now, speaking of Google and also the other social sites, Facebook has reviews, Yelp, there's a lot of other ones. Are you really on top of monitoring those online reviews? So the first kind of most obvious thing is you've got to be monitoring them, making sure people that are leaving good or bad reviews, that you know about it, and that you're very, very quick to respond to those reviews. You want to be professional, you want to be timely. So, make sure you have a process for that. It should be a daily process, somebody that knows how to monitor that, or a vendor that you're working with that can help you with that process. More important than ever, one bad review right now when consumers maybe aren't going to as many businesses, and every consumer, every lead, every bit of business to your business might be very, very crucial. You want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to protect your online reputation. There's some tools you can use to monitor. There's, as I said, companies like ours that can help you, but just make sure you have a plan. The old saying, hope is not a strategy. It's not a strategy. You need a plan. So definitely make sure you respond to comments. Some things that we've learned, and we've been doing this for 10 years here locally. First of all, whether or not the negative issue happened, you want to acknowledge that you are apologizing, more so just for the fact that that consumer is not happy. You don't have to admit wrongdoing. You can still address things. And we always, always encourage business owners to suggest that consumer contact them offline. I think in this case, we cut it off just because we didn't want to share personal information, but include your email, include your cell number, include a way for them to get a hold of you, or direct message. Let them know that you're ready and able to fix the situation, and take it offline. And even if for some reason, maybe that consumer doesn't contact you, or their requests are a little unreasonable, at least you've shown the rest of the world that you are able and you wanted to help. And that's really important. So this is an online billboard. You want to be very timely. And we encourage that you respond to all reviews, not just negative, every single one. Thank the happy customers. When someone's happy, you can go into a whole almost online, again, billboard about, oh, we're so glad you like this about our business. And oh, by the way, we're glad you brought that up because we also do X, Y, and Z. Yes, we have new products, or yes, we have new services. Use it as a forum to talk and to market your business. It's a great, great tip. We often get asked, another tip, how do I get more of those positive, wonderful, positive online reviews? One of the best ways we found is if you do, for your business, have a way to get email addresses or cell phone numbers to text for feedback. We strongly encourage you to have your own survey. So have a best practice that every time, whether or not even maybe a customer buys from you, you have a way to survey them about their experience. Ask them if they were helped, their questions answered, if they liked the product or service. How was their experience? Because what's going to happen is, first of all, they're going to have a dialogue with you immediately. And if they weren't happy, hopefully they'll tell you before they tell the world online. And then you have a chance to make it right. Second, if they're happy, or if they had an issue and you fixed it, usually those turn into your best raving fans when they know they can trust you. They know that the business cares. And make it easier for them to leave an online review. We're all so busy, we're maybe watching the news too much, whatever's going on. Maybe we're not thinking about, oh, you know what? I did have a great experience. That curbside delivery was easy, or they shipped me my product and it was very timely and I loved it. Whatever it might be, make it easy for them to leave an online review. And we have a survey that we work with our clients, and we send it out on their behalf, and we make it very, very easy for those consumers to, after they leave a review, and it can be customized by the business, it can be based on star rating or whatever, to then encourage them to just click a button, make it really easy right when they're in the survey, or text their feedback and click to a review site. And if you make it easy, I think most consumers will be like, you know what, I will absolutely leave a public review. Our survey, in fact, has a cool feature that whatever they put in the survey that's maybe positive, we will automatically, using AI, turn it into a suggested review that they can, edit and change and customize. But it takes some of the steps out of it for them. And again, when you can make it easy, you'll get a lot more reviews. And we've seen it's a great strategy to drive more traffic to your business. All right, what about advertising? Well, as I said, 10 years ago when I started Digital Airstrike, there was no advertising on social media. Well, now there is, and there has been for a while, and you want to leverage it. It can oftentimes be the most cost-effective advertising you can do to drive traffic. And it's so targeted. If you know that your demographic is between a certain age group, or men versus women, or they're into certain interests that are very much aligned with your business, you can target them. So you're not just blasting out and paying for something that would reach maybe a lot of people that aren't the right audience. So it's very, very targeted. And what's great is you don't pay for the ad until someone clicks or takes action. So you get great exposure, and then when they click is when you pay. So that's a great use of funds right now. And there's a saying that, when times are good, it's nice to advertise, and when times are bad, it's essential. And that is really, really true, but you want to be very targeted with your dollars because we know you need them to go really far these days. So, make sure you know what you're doing, or you're working with a partner that knows how to target to the right people, and you will get great response. Or change up the creative if you're not, right? It can be changed, daily, hourly. You can be making changes to get the right results. And there's just never been a more cost-effective way, I believe, to reach consumers today in your local market. Now, it is about custom audiences. So as I mentioned, you want to make sure you're targeted. A great way to do this that's, again, very cost-effective is your own data. Maybe consumers you have in your own database, someone that's already responded to you and is a prospect. So you can load up that information and they can target them. They can target, other consumers. Again, it's all permission-based, but there's so many great ways now to use your own data to reach those audiences, including things like lookalike audiences. So people that have already responded to you on social, the social networks often have a way that you can go find similar people with similar interests or friends of theirs to serve up those ads. So again, being super targeted is the way to go. And then even retargeting. So if they've seen an ad, they've made a click, they've taken an action, you can target them again. Again, advertising is still advertising, right? I think the average has always been 6 to 7 times they need to see your message before they might buy from you. So you want to keep that message in front of those same consumers, and your likelihood of a response and a sale will go up. All right, video. I'm coming to you live right now with video, or maybe you're watching the recording. Video is amazing. And again, if there's a benefit coming out of this horrible, horrible pandemic, it is that more consumers and people working in businesses are now using Zoom. They're using video to still stay connected, even though we're further apart. So use video to tell your story, to maybe even get a video testimonial from a customer. There's nothing better than a customer saying what a great experience it was. We have a solution where I'm kind of giving away maybe the ending, but we're giving it away for no cost to help local businesses for the next 30 days. And it's great. It's got a video feature. You can have a video coming from you as the business owner or manager. And then there's a way for those consumers to hit reply with video and tell about their experience, or even just have a video conversation and ask questions. And sometimes consumers may not want to come down to your retail location if you have a physical location right away. Maybe they want to see what that patio set looks like, or they want to make sure and see that if you're a restaurant, you've maybe distanced those tables, or that if you're a retail location, for shopping, and you're spacing out the number of consumers and having them wait outside the door. I know I was at a T-Mobile shop, and they were really limiting the number of people in the business, and I appreciated that. It would have been kind of nice to see it before I went down, but I was glad they were doing it when I did arrive, even though it was a little hot waiting outside, but it wasn't too bad. So showing that video is huge for that. There's a lot of ways to use it to feel more connected. So we definitely encourage you to do it, but they don't have to be long videos. We like to keep them short and sweet. Next slide. Oh, the video is coming. I think we're going to show the video. Here's an example of a video.
Hi, I'm John Guido Jr., General Manager and one of the owners here at Arlington Heights Ford. What I want to show you today is one of the new services that we're offering to our customers. You may have seen recently on TV that they're telling customers that if they detail their cars, there's a product out there that's a CDC-approved cleaner. It's a antibacterial, microbial protection on the inside of your car that will help you and help your family feel safe during this time. So what I'm going to do is show you the process. So first it starts out, but we have a couple people that are going to come over. We're going to make sure that we clean the inside, just the areas, the front seats, guys. Which again, just to give you the process of how this is going to work. We're going to get the outside cleaned up. We're going to vacuum the car. We're going to shampoo the interior. We're going to wipe down everything on the interior. Okay, we're going into the final stage here of the interior. The outside looks like it's done. They're going to do a little bit of detail on the outside, a little bit of buff. But if you take a look at what he's doing on the inside of the car, he's going in with a fogger. I think you'll see that we're doing our best to make sure that you are safe and your car looks great.
So that's a great example. There's so many ways you can use video, but just to show the steps you're taking, to show off your products and services, to give them new examples of ways that you're maybe doing business in the new world when we're living with COVID-19. I think it's very, very helpful for consumers, and they definitely appreciate it. So, but also why video? It gets way more engagement. We've seen even just a quick one-off video that an individual from your company can send on an inquiry if they're asking about a product or service, just a one-to-one video. The amount of opens it gets, the clicks it gets, I mean, it is through the roof, the conversions. And I think especially if maybe you're dealing and having to have less staff on site, you need every outreach to count even more, to do a quick informal video to get that much better return versus however you used to respond to consumers, whether it was just an email or a phone call. You got to do in this day and age what's going to get you that highest return and that biggest bang for your buck, and it's definitely video. So we've seen it time and time again. It's crucial that you embrace video in this day and age as we're all learning to kind of engage a little bit differently. All right, tip number 9, another big tip that we've seen is, maybe you don't have as much staff. Maybe, your hours of when you're in your business are a little shorter. Maybe you've got childcare and you're juggling, being at home. There's maybe no summer camp, right? But you still want to get back to those leads. Oh my gosh, intelligent chat, virtual sales assistants can do so much. They can schedule appointments. You might need to take more actual appointments now. I know a lot of restaurants can't just have walk-in. They've got limited, amount of times they get less tables and less reservations. So it is important. You've got a scheduling tool. You've got a way to communicate. You don't want anybody that does set an appointment to miss it. Maybe send them reminder messages. All of this can be done with technology. It can be very, very cost effective, a lot less than the cost of an actual human sometimes doing it, for sure. We've got some great ideas. We've got some tools. We've got tips. So we're more than willing to work with you individually to show you how to do that. But what's great is a lot of this technology now is omni-channel. So like ours, someone can be on Facebook Marketplace and be asking about your product. We can help get that product listed. The chat tools can respond, let them know if it's still available, how they could pay for it, if they need to come down and see the item. And then, actually schedule that appointment. And if that consumer then jumps onto your website or wants to just text off the platform, our tool can do all of that and keep a record of all of those conversations for you that you can access. So it is really a lifeline. We've had so many, local businesses and businesses we work with nationally say, wow, when I even physically couldn't have my team in the office or at the business, and you're able to use this technology, we're actually getting, surprisingly excellent response and still selling even in this day and age. So it can really help, and again, be very cost effective. And I think that in the past, maybe these tools were a nice to have, but now they're essential. They are essential to keep your business going. It's essential to keep those consumers connected. And it's kind of forced all of us to use more technology, which is a good thing. I think long-term, hopefully we'll get through this. None of us know exactly what the future holds, but we're going to learn to live with this, or hopefully there will be a vaccine. But now's the time to embrace technology for sure and get your team comfortable with it. Even if business is a little slower, have them doing videos, have them practicing chatting through these tools. And then when things really come back full force, you will be ready. You will be ahead of your competition because you'll have the power of these tools as well. All right, tip number 10, last but not least. This is something we've really embraced during the pandemic. We always had a way to send text messages, but I think in the past, some of our business clients and even us were like, oh, that's a little intrusive. Well, now doing it as alerts, it's almost essential. So we've got an amazing new tool, and there's others out there I'm sure you could find, but to appropriately connect with prospects and customers with text, such as, hey, we're now open again for extended hours, or we're now offering, maybe a different scheduling service. Just letting them know how you're following all of the protocols and showing it to them, but letting them know and having a link in that text to get more information or to see a video or to schedule an appointment is crucial. Consumers are very hungry to want to get out and, have service appointments, nail appointments, hair appointments, go shopping, go to restaurants, do things again, buy a car, but they want to do it safely. So the more information you can give them about how you and your business and your team are going to do that safely is so welcome. We are not getting a lot of opt-outs. We're mostly getting, oh, this is helpful. Thank you so much. Yes, keep alerting me to how things are changing, to when things are more open or when things are available. They love it. And then what's great is you can pair these outbound, we call them our power texts, with our AI chatbots to even be responding and answering questions that they may have. So very, non-intrusive. And I think consumers actually now appreciate it. I was just on a call last night with our aunt who turned 70 and all sorts of family members, and they're on Zoom calls. They're suddenly learning how to chat and text, and they love it because they've had to adopt it to feel connected if they've been maybe staying at home. So I think more than ever, more consumers are ready. They appreciate the convenience and the technology, and there's so many easy, cost-effective ways you can now implement all of these strategies. So, here's an example of a real power text where it's sharing information. There's ways to certainly incorporate ways for them to contact you, and you could track all of this in a platform. And literally in this case, this consumer, we're able to see that they were on the website, they responded to maybe a Google AdWord or print advertisement, and then they're now engaging through text and wanting to communicate with your business. And there's so many ways to track it and keep all of those conversations in a dashboard. So bonus tip and next steps. Well, it starts with your budget. It starts with understanding the tools and technology you do have today. Our team, as I said, works with over 5,000 businesses of all sizes. Everything from, businesses run at home to small local businesses to national franchises. We're here to help. We're able to do a free kind of review of where you're spending your dollars, a review even of your social networks, maybe where you're missing a couple opportunities, even for some free listings and to claim some business pages. So, go to our website. You can email us. You can text us as well. Our own chat is on digitalairstrike.com. We will do that at no cost to give you some great ideas specific to your business. So any dollars you have can go even further. We're here to help. I think with that, we're going on to questions. So I think we've got quite a few people on the webinar. I would love to answer any questions that you guys have.
So this is Melissa again. I did have a few questions come through to me privately that I'll go ahead and ask, but make sure if anybody has a question, just drop it in the chat box and I will ask it on your behalf. So the first one is, how do I get a bad review removed?
Sure. Well, there's a couple different ways. First of all, you have to really know the terms and conditions of each review site. So it kind of depends where the review is. Our team's very lucky. We work directly with Google and Facebook and Yelp, and we've got account teams that we can actually just even pick up the phone and call. But if you don't work with a partner like that, you can usually go to each site and you want to become an expert on what their terms and conditions are to find out what is kind of that bullet in your gun to get it removed. It's not as easy as just, wow, this person is unfair, or this person is not right. I didn't do that, or that didn't happen. You usually have to find something that's very specific. Occasionally it's obvious, like they've used profanity or something that's not appropriate, but you still want to cite that terms or condition on that website. It's surprising, but a lot of these review sites or social networks don't even police all of their own content. So if you name their own, section 2. Or 2A of your T's and C's doesn't allow this, and then you use that in your dispute when you reach out to that site, that will definitely help your case. The next tip that we have is, sometimes it's not obvious. It's something like they have privacy rules, and you can kind of almost interpret that. So sometimes it's just naming a staff person at your business. Saying the name Sally maybe. Well, that's a violation potentially of that individual's privacy, and you could use that to get that review or post removed. Sometimes it takes multiple times, clicking that report button if you don't have a vendor that can help you get to more of a human at that site. But there's a lot of different strategies you can have. In worst case, if you can't get it removed, you can push it down. So a great strategy is to get a lot of new content. Hopefully it's positive, that will push it down. A last tip is, there's no rule against your team, your friends, your family liking the great positive reviews and maybe not liking or reporting the ones that you think are in violation. So the more people at different IP addresses that are doing that, a lot of the sites default to like a Yelp sort is a good example. So that's another tip. Speaking of Yelp, we didn't mention this, but a great tip is if you encourage consumers to check in using the Yelp app and they leave a review through the app, if they're right there in person with you at the business, it's more likely that it will stick, it will rank higher, because some of the sites feel, wow, they were definitely there if they checked in, and we can track that with GPS. So they will give more validity to those reviews. And so anybody that's happy that, you know, a loyal repeat customer that comes to your business, they're more than happy if you just ask them to leave those reviews, and that'll help push down anything negative.
So a second part to that question was, what's the best way to get new positive reviews?
Great. Well, that was one. I already gave away a tip. But as I said, that survey, having a survey, we also have a text survey. So speaking of texting, if you're right there in person with somebody and they had a great experience at your business, you can use our app to send them a quick text. What we like to do, so it's doesn't feel like, hey, leave a review. That can kind of be an awkward conversation. We just talk about feedback. Can you give me some feedback? My manager would love to see feedback maybe on how you thought today went. And we actually then enter to win all those consumers into a monthly drawing. So it's kind of fun. You know, we know it takes a minute to maybe get a text, hit it, fill out a survey. So we think surveys are a great way. We've seen it, you know, over 10 years, definitely helping our business clients. So first of all, you get that feedback. Again, that can help mitigate and stop negative reviews if they're not happy. But second, if they're happy, then right in that text survey or email survey, we can encourage them to go tell the world, right? And they get to pick the sites. There's no gaming of it, but it's definitely a great way that you can increase those positive reviews. So the last thing I would say is, you know, to even be able to send out the surveys, you need their cell number, you need their email. If you haven't yet got a way to collect email addresses from your consumers or a reason, create one. I mean, if nothing else, let them know about your changes to new services and products, or new ways to schedule reservations now that COVID's here. I think people are more apt now, we're seeing, to give you that information to get alerts. And then if you do now have a reason to collect their emails, make sure you put it in a CRM, or you've got a way to make that secure. You know, consumer information needs to be held securely. But with permission, you can contact your own customers, and that's a great way to just see if they'd be willing to leave one of those reviews. Signage is another way. Check in here, you know, leave a review, let us know how we're doing. You can have some fun with it. You know, maybe it's, you know, show us you wearing your mask at our place of business, enter to win, check in. And the more you have fun with it, then the more likely they are to talk about what a great experience it was, or how safe it was, to how safe they felt being at your business.
So somebody wanted to know, what are some other examples of great videos that work?
Oh, so many videos. I feel like we should do a separate whole video example. What we can do is actually, if anybody has that question, if they've left their contact information, we'll go ahead and share that with you. We found videos really of your staff, your team. I'm thinking of one right now where it was kind of this story around, you know, times were tough, businesses were closed and only maybe able to do some online servicing still, and delivery and takeout. And it was really interesting to hear one of our business clients talk about, you know, what a hard decision it was for them to maybe put some of their staff on furlough, but they kept some on. And when they kept some of the staff on, those staff had to wear every hat. They were helping to clean the business. They were maybe doing some IT computer work. They were doing, you know, guerrilla marketing, ordering banners, you know, for the outside of the business to say, hey, we're still open and we're doing delivery. And to feature the story of those individuals, those employees. One that sticks out was somebody that was an immigrant to the country when they came here 6 years ago. They didn't speak English. They were feeding a whole family. And the fact that they've gone from that to being pretty much the sole employee, keeping things going, was amazing to hear. And we really encourage that business to do a video and share that story, and to just let them know that, you know, you're still keeping the lights on, you still want to serve the community. It was really touching, and they didn't do it necessarily, obviously, just to drive traffic or leads, but such a great story. And I think those uplifting stories are really important to share right now. I've also seen some of the great videos are just consumers really quickly saying, hey, I just bought here. It was amazing. Look at my new car, or look, I just moved, you know, I just moved into the complex, or wow, I found this restaurant to be so careful with everything they're doing. Quick videos like that are amazing. You know, if your hair salon, have somebody just talk about their great new, you know, they're finally got to cut their hair after 8 weeks or whatever, and that it was very safe. Those are the videos that are making a big difference. But you know, like the one that we shared, just, it may sound obvious, but showing them all the steps you're taking to keep everyone safe and that you are open for business, they have a huge impact.
Even though this one was already answered in the chat room, I'm just going to ask it just in case people aren't tracking that. But someone asked, do you work outside of the auto industry? And the answer is yes. So
yes, we do. We've got so many different businesses. We've started in auto because it was kind of our background, but you know, dealerships are local businesses. They're usually family run. They have a lot of different moving pieces. So it really trained us to work in other industries, and our team's always worked in other industries. Everything from, you know, the smallest kind of independent contractors. We've worked with dentists and local retailers. I'm thinking, you know, bike shops are very busy right now, actually. We've been even working with some really complicated businesses such as, you know, movie, bowling, grill are some businesses we work with. We're like, wow, you've got a lot going on, and there's a lot there to make sure that you are opening safely, and how do we help you communicate that? We've given all of our business clients, you know, complimentary videos that we can brand for them, even if they're a little generic, just to show how things are working now. So lots of experience with lots of businesses, and we're here local. Most of our team is based here in Scottsdale. We're very familiar with the Valley, but we do work in other states as well too. So dentists, you know, assisted living assistants coming into seniors' homes if they're maybe more nervous about going into assisted living facilities. I mean, it kind of goes on and on. Tire shops, repair shops, clothing stores. So yeah, we love to work with businesses of all kinds.
All right, so another question is, it's a two-parter. So it says, it seems like most of these tactics would work well with nonprofits. Do you also work with them? And then what advice do you have for startup businesses around these tips?
Great questions. We do. We actually have a whole team called DAS Cares, and every month we actually pick some local nonprofits or charities. We do a lot of work with them just to coach them, support them, give them some free tips, but also absolutely talk about where every dollar and every budget counts. Thinking just off the top of my head, we did a lot with the Arizona Humane Society, the Maricopa Shelter, trying to get the word out about, you know, things that the animals might need right now, food banks. So we could definitely help you offline. We could share some tips. We'd love to help. And then in terms of startups, you know, we still feel like a startup ourselves. Social media, I just can't stress that enough. Things like Nextdoor app, reaching out to your own network. Even before maybe you have a product or service, right? You've got an idea, you've got a concept. You want to be able to do some of that market testing and get the feedback. So, you know, a great low cost or no cost way to get that feedback on your idea. Recruiting is another one. You know, when you're in startup mode, or even you're an established business, maybe you can only afford so many positions. You want to get the best talent. There's job boards, there's ways to find people that are tech savvy if you're going to use technology to find them. You can even do remote interviews. We've seen a lot of people doing that. And that kind of leads me to one of the next things that we're talking about as well. We are not only giving our Video Logics solution at no cost for 30 days to any business that wants it, we're also going to give it to job seekers. So if you happen to be looking for work, you're maybe out of work, but you're learning, you know, new skills and ways to help maybe your future employer, we think it's a great way to showcase who you are, a great way to do some quick video, like a video profile on yourself, to show that you're tech savvy and that you can actually use these tools when hopefully they hire you to help their business along. So lots of ways that video can help, so many tools. We could go on, but definitely individually, if anybody has any questions, no cost, no obligation, we're here to give you guys some ideas so we can help you individually.
And this one isn't a question, just a comment. It says, one of the ideas for videos currently, say thank you to your supporters that helped you go through COVID-19 shutdown. We used one for Tucson Botanical Gardens, and it worked really great.
Oh, yay! That's a great example. Yeah, we actually, I don't think we're mentioning it here, but we're running a monthly contest in June for any business that wants to send us a video like the one that we shared of that auto detail. If you've got a great video that worked and you want to share it, we're actually going to pick a June winner from all of the entries. You don't have to be a client. Anyone can send it in. We'd love to see your videos. If you've done a video, if it worked, it was thanking the community, if it was talking about, you know, how your team stepped up or the new things that you're doing, just send in those videos because we do like to share them. We will ask for your permission if we can share them with anybody else, but we love to see those. We're all in this together. We're here to help. You know, we're definitely so thankful for first responders and everyone that's kept our community going and keeping us safe. And we've got to get, you know, business back to help our economy and make sure that we all continue to stay open and open even more fully, but still remain safe. So definitely send those videos in. We'd love to see it.
Awesome. So right now seems to be the last of our questions. So just as a reminder, we will be sending out an email with this webinar that was recorded. It will live on the website, so you can you know, go ahead and check that out. And then we also have some stuff that we're sending from Digital Airstrike as well, that you guys had already talked about. Oh, we did have one more that came through. So maybe this is one you want to answer personally or offline, but he asks, what are your company's services and pricing?
Oh yeah, we can definitely talk about it. All over the range. It really has to depend on your business and what you need. Everything from, you know, low end. We've got some great tools for $100 a month that can help you guys. So all the way up to if you guys really want to have a big, you know, presence and really advertise on social, it can be dialed up or dialed down. So we could definitely talk to you about it individually. One last tip that we found that's very important is as you are opening, we're all kind of living with COVID, is training your staff and making sure they're safe and they feel comfortable. It's another great way for video. We've actually used our Video Logics tool to, before we even welcome back in our staff into the office, show them all the things we're doing, showing them how to stay 6 feet apart, how we move desks. We've got, you know, the sanitizing stations. We gave everybody branded, we're calling them Dastanas, but they're like bandanas. You can get this too. We even have a way for our clients to get a discount to get branded masks with your own brand on them. We've got a lot of great ideas. So training, making sure your staff feel safe and comfortable, making sure consumers are happy. Lots of ways we can help. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for your time today. And we're all about helping businesses succeed and keeping consumers safe.
Awesome. And thank you again so much to Alexi, as well as the full Digital Airstrike team. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.